Hello everyone! Today I'm in this very high neckline long sleeve top and there is a reason for this because it's like 30 degrees outside right now. It is so hot. I've got all my aircon on so hopefully I don't pass out. For today's foundation first impression I literally had the choice between two shades to buy. A normal person would just not buy a shade that did not match because that's silly. However, I had this little like 10% glimmer of hope that it would actually match and I got it, and yeah, I don't think it's going to. It might not be terrible. We're not going to know until we apply it, and I figured if I love it I'll buy a darker shade and we can do some mixing, hopefully. I mean, I've had to do that with heaps of foundations because sometimes, you know, it is what it is. I feel like in New Zealand, our Sephora sells out of stuff like immediately. I don't know why, but I'm always struggling to find the shades I want. So we've gone with Rosy Neutral 3, and that is not a color I would ever like lean towards because even though I look like I have like rosy, it's actually just redness. Like my actual undertone's very like yellowy goldeny neutral. Like I've got no fake tan on my hand and you can see compared to my face it's a lot more like neutral yellow vibes, you know? So I don't think it's going to be a good color for me, but we're going to put it on. I've got the high neckline so we can blend it down and just create the illusion that it matches today. This was not cheap either, so it kind of hurt my feelings buying it, but I just had to try it. I've had a few requests from you guys asking for a like foundation first impression, and I haven't done a foundation first impression in a while and I've just been itching to do it, and this was the perfect opportunity. It looks beautiful. Like look at that packaging. I'm pretty sure this was like $100 or something I paid for this. $109. That's just ridiculous. It's called the Patrick Tar Major Skin Hydra-Luxe Luminous Skin Perfecting Foundation. Once again, all of the keywords are just buzzing at me. If you watch my videos, I love anything that's like hydrating, glowy. It says to shake it well, and it's got buildable coverage. It says you can build it to your desired coverage. Enhance your natural radiance with this luminous medium coverage foundation, lightweight, hydrating, infused with 3 types of hyaluronic acid, squalane, and fermented kombucha. This formula blends seamlessly and blurs imperfections for a glowy skin-like finish. I'm still holding on to hope that this will match me well enough to wear when I've got no fake tan on, because sometimes I cannot be bothered fake tanning and it would be nice to have a foundation I love. It looks like it could be okay. I am literally just like praying to the makeup gods right now. The packaging is so beautiful and you get 30 ml, but you do get fingerprints all over this type of thing. I mean, duh, because it's very reflective. Literally, I've just been like touching it now and look at that. I just washed my hands as well, so I'm not even sure where all of this fingerprint action is coming from. I am going to prime half my face. Today I'm just going to use my One Step Correct in Kitten. If any of you guys have tried this foundation, please leave your review down below because we all have different opinions and I would love to get just some extra reviews going for my viewers so we can figure out who this foundation is perfect for. I love this primer so much. It's an old favorite. This one's the one that's got like a little bit of like a glow to it though. I'm just applying this on half of my face so we can see if there's any difference between each side, longevity, appearance, all of that stuff. While that settles in, I'm just going to apply my lash serum. I'll link this down below with a discount code. Now my skin type is normal to dehydrated or a little bit dry. However, I do notice a lot of the time, especially this time of year when I get more hot, I'm a bit more oily through my T-zone. So we'll see how it goes. Today is a hot day, like I said, so it's a good test. It says to apply to moisturized skin with a brush or sponge. So I've got a brush here today. Let's do the unprimed side first. That's one full pump right there. And I'm going to use it on a flat face brush. So I'm just kind of like stippling it out. Okay, it's definitely too pale regardless. Maybe in winter it'll be alright. But the undertone actually looks decent. It actually is quite neutral. I think the word rosy threw me off. So I'm just going to blend this out. It's almost like a little bit like, I don't know, like, is tacky the right word? When I'm like trying to like, you know, a lot of foundations you can like drag and buff, whereas this one I feel like is blending out better when I'm stippling it like this. Honestly, if this was one shade deeper, I feel like it would be a really perfect match. On camera it kind of looks perfect, but in real life my actual skin tone is just a little bit darker because it's summer right now. So I think I will get a lot of use out of this as my skin gets paler again over winter. It actually looks so good up close. I haven't even like really spread this to my forehead yet, so I'm definitely going to need another half pump, but can you see how smooth it looks? And this is on the non-primed side. I'm going to take a little bit of a pump. Yeah, the color is almost, it's so close to being perfect for me right now. Okay, Water Relief. Yeah, I definitely like it stippled, guys. Stipple it and it just blends itself out practically. And I feel like the coverage is beautiful. I definitely think it's like a true medium. I feel like it just, I don't know. It doesn't look like heavy makeup on my skin. You can see the before and after very clearly right here, right? Like it does not look like a mask. It has that bit of like glow. I do have artificial lights on, guys. So this shine you're seeing on the very high point of my face, that's more like just the lighting. Like look, if I block that, but even like on my forehead you can kind of see that little bit of glow on my nose. It's definitely got a glow to it. It's just not as severe as this. Right, let's try it on top of the primer now. That's one full pump. I'm gonna do the same thing, just kind of like, sorry about the focus, blend it all the way out. You can see how like it's a little bit pale now when I just speckle it like this. But even if I needed to like mix this with a darker foundation to make it match me better, like I feel like this would be such a nice foundation to mix in just because the finish is so perfect. First impression though, like I feel like I'm gonna use this a lot. Obviously we have to see how it wears throughout the day and how it looks once I've got all the rest of my makeup on, but I'm already very excited, I'm not gonna lie. You can see I've got a big pimple here, so we'll see how it goes. On top of that, a little bit on my forehead. I'm just going to take another little bit because I just feel like I need a bit more around my nose and on the lower part of my cheeks where I get a bit more red. I have to say, even though the coverage is quite good, it does not feel like a medium full coverage finish. In terms of like the weight on my skin, it genuinely feels barely there. It also doesn't, to be honest, feel super hydrating. It doesn't feel drying. It just kind of feels like nothing. You know how some foundations lately have been feeling like you put them on and it's almost like a moisturizer because they feel so like hydrating? It's not like that vibe. It's definitely more of a weightless, can't really feel anything vibe, which isn't a bad thing. I don't feel like it's emphasizing any of my pores. I get the biggest pores kind of around here. That's where I like to look for the most texture. Obviously, like I'm human, I've got pores, but it's not making them look worse, which is all I want. I just don't want anything to make them look worse. I've got a lot of texture just here and breakouts, and it's glided over those perfectly. But I feel like this is the type of area that starts looking really bad as the day goes on and the makeup starts to like cling to those areas. So we'll keep an eye on that. And I don't see it clinging to any dry patches yet, but once again, we'll keep an eye on that too. So far, I'm obsessed. You can see it's not the best at covering a lot of redness. You can still see that breakout just there. So I think you'd need extra concealer if you've got a lot of breakouts or redness that you're trying to conceal. However, just like the general redness of my skin on my cheeks has been covered pretty well, like plenty for me. Personally, I love it when my skin still looks like skin and you can still see a little bit of, you know, just variation in skin tone. I don't want it to look like a blank canvas most of the time. There's obviously a time and a place for a blank canvas, like when I'm doing a certain makeup look, but just for general like everyday wear, I want something that does not look like a mask. And I think that this, my face still has dimension, if that makes sense. Do you know what I mean? Like I think it looks really pretty. I feel very pale right now, but even looking past the color, like I just think like the texture looks nice, glow, the finish is just 10 out of 10, beautiful. It's not too much. This is zoomed all the way and you can see it is sitting a little bit like funny just over my nose. I feel like that's like the most common place it will like not sit perfectly smooth. I don't know if it's because like I need to exfoliate my nose a bit more because obviously it holds like a bit more like gunk and blackheads and dead skin. Anyways, that's like the only place I've got a little bit of an issue with how it's sitting. Probably if I used a sponge, I'd get a better finish on my nose. But like I said, around this area where I've got a lot of problems, it's looking good so far. Oh my gosh, I'm just so happy that the color kind of matches. Like next to my hands, yeah, it's just like one shade lighter. This is perfect. Well, you know, as perfect as I could hope for when I literally had 2 shades to choose from. It was this or like quite a deep shade, which I think the deeper shade would have been the perfect undertone and everything. but it would have been too dark. And I've actually got a few foundations in my collection that are a little bit too dark for me, so I decided lighter was the way to go so that I could actually mix and match. Like one of my other favorite foundations, this by Mario one, I actually love this. I've had this for a couple years now, I'm pretty sure. This is a 9W and I can wear it when I've got like my freshest of fresh fake tans, but I mean you can see like that's quite dark. Imagine mixing these together. I feel like they would be a dream team. Right, I'm gonna conceal and do the rest of my makeup. I'll do most of it off camera, but I'll just conceal with you guys so we can see a better look at how it's gonna sit. I'm gonna use the shade P1 from Natasha Denona. And normally this is like very pale, but it even looks like it's darker than the rest of my face right now. Whoops. This is like my favorite concealer lately. For ages it's been my favorite, but for some reason I feel like it looks really cakey on top of that foundation. Maybe it's just because of the color situation, like it's standing out more or something. Just putting some of that concealer on that breakout as well, but I'm gonna let it sit there for a minute. I'll let it dry a little bit before I blend it out. I'm just gonna use this Cherry Blossom Bacon Snatch powder and just set that. Now for my full face first impressions, I like to kind of set all of the foundation, but I won't use a setting spray. I'm just going to use a light dusting of powder. I used to always use MAC Studio Fix powder back in the day, but lately I haven't really been using that. So I'm going to actually just use like a translucent powder and just set it the way I normally would. I'll do it on camera with you so you can see exactly where I'm kind of using it. I'm going to use this one today and I'm just going to press that around the mouth and chin and kind of like the cheek, T-zone, and naturally my cheeks will be set as well while I do the rest of my makeup, like my blush and bronzer and stuff like that. And then just take a big brush and kind of pat that out. Yeah, it's still sitting funny on my nose. Like I've set that with powder and you can kind of see even more so now how like the texture looks a bit funny, but everywhere else it looks great. So I honestly think I probably just need to do a good exfoliation of my nose, like a little clay mask or something. And I always feel like I hate how my makeup looks as soon as I use a bit of powder, but once my natural oils come through, once I put on bronzer, it always looks good. So we'll trust the process. I'm not going to say much more right now. What I will say is I still love the way it looks. I love the finish and I love the feeling. It does not feel heavy. So I'm going to finish my makeup and I will come back and show you how it all looks. It's just gone 10 o'clock, so I'm going to wear this until 10 p.m. tonight so we can see it over a full 12 hours and we'll do checkups throughout the day. Let me know what you guys think so far. Am I like blown out of the water? I'm not like completely blown out of the water yet, but I am impressed. I also need to keep in mind the price tag of this though, because I don't like spending this much money on foundation, if I'm honest. It's just so much money, man. I feel like it's getting out of hand how much money people expect. I feel like it's actually getting out of hand, like how much some makeup costs, especially if this was to be someone's everyday makeup. I can understand if it was like an investment for like a wedding or like if you just wanted it on hand for like special events. If you were using this every single day and going through it, like it's just so much money. I don't know, am I like disconnected? Like is this normal? Guys, I was filming some reels, so it's actually been 2 hours. It's 12 o'clock or just gone 12 o'clock. As you can see, the sun's come out even more. Hopefully you can see my makeup. Honestly, I feel like because I'm so pale, I like try to do a look that I would normally do with fake tan on, but because I'm so pale, I feel like it looks weird. Like I just feel like my entire makeup look today like just doesn't look right. I wanted to do like super smoky eyes and like peachy cheeks and everything, but it kind of looks like too much makeup. I don't know, but we're gonna move past that. We're gonna focus on the base. It's all about the base. Oh my god, throwback. I haven't thought about that song in years. I mean, it's looking pretty gorge. I have some concerns as well. Like at the same time, like I think it looks really nice, but then I look real close at like the congested area of my face where I've got some breakouts and stuff. And I feel like it is starting to cling a little bit. Around my nose looks pretty good. I look very hydrated at the moment. I'm worried I'm going to look really oily in another update or two. The forehead like almost looks a little bit dry and I feel like some of my redness is already peeking through slightly. Not a lot, but slightly. So while I think it looks really good overall, it's been 2 hours and I'm just concerned that it's going to turn quickly. So I guess we're just going to have to wait and see. So far though, like I feel great other than the fact that I feel like my makeup looks ridiculous. Do you guys like it? I actually filmed this for like an Instagram reel. I don't know, I might edit it and see how I feel about it once I edit it, because sometimes when I'm filming videos and content I hate it in the moment and then by the time I take a step back, wait a day, edit the footage, I end up being like, wow, I actually really like this makeup. Do you know what I mean? So, I don't know, maybe it's just my mood. I feel like my makeup looks a little bit cakey here too, like where the concealer was. I don't know what's going on. That's another thing I just remembered. I've got a lot of eyeshadow on my lower lash line because my concealer was like creasing kind of bad. And I use the Natasha Denona concealer with my, whatever that powder is, the Huda Beauty powder, all the time, and don't crease like I do today. So maybe the concealer does not like the foundation, because I mean, I use it all the time and it's fine, right? So why is today different? Dunno. Let's wait and see. It's been 5 hours total and I can already tell that this is probably going to be one of those foundations that I'm going to have to experiment with. It is definitely starting to emphasize like dry patches, texture. Like look through here. Like you can see that, right? I feel like it's kind of just sinking in. Look around my nose. I've not blown my nose even. I don't even know what that is, like from me itching maybe. It's also melting a little bit around the nose. I feel like this area is starting to look a little bit worse. It doesn't look oily in my T-zone, and overall I love the finish and the coverage, other than the fact it's starting to fade a little bit. But look at that, the pimple's coming out. I think I need to try this foundation again and set it hard out with powder. We're gonna persevere, I'm gonna keep wearing it, but yeah, I still feel like presentable like this, but I'm definitely kind of bummed because it hasn't even been 6 hours and I just feel like I look a bit like sweaty and just, what's that word, disheveled, you know the one. I feel like I've been sitting in the sun all day or something, but I've been indoors, I've been editing, I'm in my office. Hey guys, so first of all, every single selfie I take, I just feel like my skin looks so bad. I feel like it's starting to get to the point where it looks a little bit oily in my T-zone. Like I notice it more so like around the sides of my mouth, just here, like on my chin a little bit. It might be hard to see through the camera. Worth mentioning too, like all of these things I'm mentioning are happening on both the primed and unprimed side. This area with like drier skin, congestion, I don't know if you can see. I'm trying to like move my mouth. It feels really weird to film. But in here, it even like feels a little bit sticky, but it just looks all like crap. The heck is on my face? Have I like slam dunked my face into some pollen in my garden or something? Look, overall I don't know, I almost feel like it's aging my skin a little bit. You can even see right here, like this texture's amplified. This side, the texture's amplified. I feel like if I mattified this entire area through my T-zone, it would look okay. By the way, I didn't say the time, it's 7 p.m. So we've got 3 more hours to go until we reach that 12-hour mark, but already I don't think it's really like a long wear formula whatsoever. I don't think it really claimed to be, but normally I feel like I would like my makeup to still look good around this point or just starting to deteriorate, but I feel like it started getting worse like too fast. I had such high expectations for this and so far, I don't know. Like, don't you reckon my skin just looks so much older than normal? And normally when I'm not wearing fake tan, I get compliments on how I look younger, and that is not the vibe I'm getting right now. Like I straight up feel like I've put 10 years on my age just because of like my base. Oh my gosh, okay. I have to give it this, it still does not feel heavy or cakey. I think it looks slightly cakey, but it does not feel heavy. It does not feel cakey. So this might be a foundation I'm gonna have to experiment with, like some different bases and powders and concealers apparently, because my favorite does not look good with this. Look at the creasing too. I don't usually get like much creasing at all with my foundations. My under eyes look so old. Right, I'll see you in a few more hours for the final reveal. Hey guys, I'm itching to take this off at this point. It is 10 p.m. just past 10 p.m. So that's literally bang on 12 hours now. Yeah, it feels very like liquidy. Like if I touch my face, it's like, I don't know, it just feels like it transfers off. To be fair, I thought I would be way oilier than I am through my T-zone. I still think I'm pretty oily through my T-zone. But if anything, I just feel like it starts to emphasize texture more so than anything else. That's its biggest issue. Make it a little bit darker, I don't know. Like, I look like an absolute hot mess right now. Probably doesn't help that I'm wearing like a hard out makeup look with it. It's just emphasizing this area, which I absolutely cannot stand. I'm just gonna go in with a small bit of powder. I'll just do one side and let's see how it looks when I mattify it a bit. Up close though, you can still see where it's like separated, so it's kind of like too far gone to actually touch up. I'm hoping this will work well when I mix it with other foundations even. It looks a trillion times better, even though up close it still looks like very texture heavy and it looks a bit separated. Here it is in the dark. Oh my goodness, like just everything, the under eye circles, it's like separated on my face. I don't know, has anyone else tried this foundation? Did your concealer do that too? Because like I said, I'm just using a bit more powder now just to like see. But like I said, I always use this combo and never have issues like this. Don't know, what do you guys think? Do you agree? Have you had a different experience to me? Have you had a similar experience to me? I'm kind of bummed because even if it looks good when I mix it with other foundations, I feel like that's a lot of money for something that doesn't really look good on me just normally. Adding that powder made it a trillion times better, as you can see, but I'm just still not like blown away. I just feel like old and haggard. It's not a vibe. Like, I would rather not wear foundation if I'm gonna feel this way about how I look. So that's an interesting turn of events. Let me know if you want to see me use this again in an upcoming Get Ready With Me. Like, let me know if you want to see if I can make it work, and if you have any tips or product pairings that you recommend with this formula, please let me know so I can try them out, and I will talk to you guys in my next video. Also, let me know if there's any other foundations you would like to see me try, because I really want to try heaps more. Like, I just want to do more of these, and I want to find some good foundation. So if you know there's one that I haven't tried before, please comment it below. Bye.